All right, it's Thursday night. We've got more coffee, and I still can't find my pants, so that's nice. Oh man, it's another COFOH LIve Undead, and I am joined by the amazing Travis Volz of the Telluride Horror Show. But first, you write something on my face. Holy cow, Travis, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Daniel.
Good. So you're in a remote, secluded area, parts unknown, right?
Absolutely. I'm up here in Georgetown.
Oh,
just
cool.
kind of battling the forest fire smoke right now, trying not to breathe it in too much. But up here.
How bad is it up there? Is it you guys okay?
It was raining ash again today. But it's weird. Like the mornings will start out clear, and then it's like you can see it billow in the afternoon and into the evening. So, thoughts are with the forest fires for sure. I mean, not the forest fires, but the firefighters. Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm so sorry that you guys are still dealing with that. We get a little bit of that, down here in the lower country or area of Denver. Are the fires a little bit more under control or contained?
My understanding is the Cameron Peak fire is still burning pretty heavily. It's so hard to keep up. I'm like, is this smoke coming from the West Coast or is this a Colorado fire? So up here it's kind of hard to tell some days. I haven't kept up. I haven't really tuned in the last couple of days to see what is going on with all of that. So the air quality in Denver is horrible too. So
it's terrible. It feels like the whole world is on fire.
Right.
So I know that's a bit of a somber note, but on a more optimistic thing, you and your cohorts are doing the Telluride Horror Show. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We're in our 11th year this year. This will be our first virtual fest. We're calling it the Shelter in Place Edition.
Nice.
We've already announced our first wave with 11 features, a few premieres, a couple of world premieres, a North American premiere, as well as 40 shorts from 30 different countries. And we've got 6 guest authors with us this year that we've already announced. Max Brooks, who wrote World War Z. You might have seen him in some interviews on national television. Daniel Kraus, co-writer of The Shape of Water with Del Toro. And then, of course, Paul Tremblay being one of Stephen King's favorite writers. And then to round it out, we've got Emily Danforth, Elma Katsu, and Jeremy Robert Johnson, who's been with us now for at least 3 years. So we're really excited about our lineup so far. Yeah,
it sounds like a really robust show. Even with it being online and everything. Yeah. Was it a hard transition?
It was at first. It's marketing. A virtual festival is not quite the same thing as marketing a weekend in Telluride. So personally, from my work perspective, I miss that destination component. But I think it gets our programming in front of a wider audience as well. Looking at our box office numbers already, we already have more than 25% are new viewers. So these are folks that have never been with us before. So they have a chance to check out our programming, our brand, and kind of get a feel of everything. We have a nice festival trailer that kind of shows the mountainscape and some of the highlights of Telluride. So hopefully that'll sort of pique some interest in some of these new folks, and they'll be with us hopefully in 2021 or in the next couple of years. Hopefully we'll get back to some sort of normalcy. So
right, where we can actually be in close encounters with each other, and
exactly.
And fan out over the same gruesome films on the big screen. That is one thing I do miss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Travis, tell us a little bit about yourself. How you got in, because you're doing a lot of the marketing for Telluride.
Sure.
And I remember meeting you at Mile High Horror Film Fest years ago.
Absolutely. I'm thinking it was 2011, was maybe at least 2012, but I'm thinking 2011 is when you were in the Artist Alley, and that's when I first met you. So along with other folks that I can definitely remember. So getting into the horror, I mean, I think I was kind of in a rough patch in my life, and there was a friend of mine in Louisville, Kentucky, who knew that I loved indie film, and she told me, why don't you reach out to the Denver Film Society and see if Louisville has a film society, I guarantee Denver has one. And so I sent just a volunteer email, just wanted to be around like-minded people, and before you know it, I was helping out with some of their press kits and red carpet stuff, and then that sort of branched into with Mile High Horror. They needed some social media help, and then that transitioned to me leading their marketing for a couple of years before moving over to Telluride Horror Show. And I've had the opportunity now to be working with Aspen Film for a year and a half, and they have year-round programming and 3 major festivals. We've got one coming up here in October as well. They're more like feature films, things you're going to see, mainstream kind of type theater. So cool. It just sort of evolved over the years, and just really have had some really tremendous support from some great people at the Denver Film Society, with working with Ted and the group in Telluride Horror Show, where, I liked horror films, but I didn't see a lot of indie film. I think I was like a lot of people who saw a lot of the, Nightmare on Elm Street, the popular ones. And then when I started doing some work with Mile High Horror, and then especially with Telluride Horror Show, that was when my view of horror films just totally broadened.
Nice.
I think since then I've had the opportunity of enjoying some programming around the state. I think what Teresa Mercado is doing with Scream Screen is
she's awesome.
Branding or programming. She brings out a crowd. Keith Garcia has always done an amazing job with genre programming and some of his events with the Denver Film Society. So I think we're very lucky here in Colorado, even given the state of COVID, that we're all kind of marching on. There's a lot of film to be watched right now. AMC, all the major channels have their Halloween marathons. And so, people can get their horror anywhere, but we're lucky enough to have fans who are supporting us and that want to check us out finally. So it's been good for us, and we hope that other organizations and festivals can thrive through all of this. So, yeah,
most definitely. That it does feel that the horror as well as the horror film community here in Colorado are really coalescing and kind of coming together. There's so much, even online, there's so many, amazing things going on to stay connected and be active and everything. So that's really fun. And I think you also work a little bit in film production, because I remember you working with Gio Tottinello and helping out with him on a couple of things. So are you still keeping active? Producing stuff too?
On a small scale. In fact, I can't talk too much about it, but there's a pilot that where I've been hired to manage or scout and manage locations. We're going to try to shoot most of it up here in Clear Creek County. There are a couple canyon scenes that we'll have to shoot elsewhere, but we're having a scouting day tomorrow, and there's been a lot of support up here with both private businesses and the Georgetown Silver Plume Historic District. So Working a little bit with that. I've never done like scouting location. It's been a lot of fun. And again, it's kind of like one of those things where, oh, I know that person, or I know he knows that person. It's a small community up here, but I've been up here for a couple of years, and I think having showing a face in the community and helping out with some of the things up here in this little town too is, now people are ready to support as well. So I've been helping with that. I haven't done so much down in Denver with any, I do some corporate shoots and a few other things. But I have a short film, Rough Outline. It's a historical short based on a true event that happened in Wyoming in the 1880s. And here I live in an 1880s-ish community here. So I'm fortunate. I was hoping to shoot this year, but I think I'll be pushing until summer or fall of next year with that. So that will be my first stab at directing anything. So kind of excited about it. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's got to be pretty exciting. Well, this will be your first directorial project, right?
Yeah, and it's a small. I'm hoping like maybe 7 or 8 minutes. There isn't a lot of dialogue. A lot of the story can be told through visual, and I think it deserves a score that's disturbing or grating. And I don't know. I think of some of Johnny Greenwood's work of like the There Will Be Blood.
Yeah,
not so much the Psycho, but just sort of that sad melancholy. I needed to kind of capture that time. So
it sounds uplifting.
Well, I have a vision for it. We'll see if it gets executed, and it could be. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a really exciting venture for you. It's film is just one of those things where it's an amazing group collaboration, and it takes so many different disciplines or talent levels too. Do you have a solid crew together ready to tackle this, or is it going to be predominantly fall on your shoulders?
It'll be a small crew. There will be one lead actor, and with one scene with some extras. But I think the crew will probably be pretty small. I envision us shooting it with 6 to 8 people.
Nice.
Yeah, the locations that I have and have already secured are pretty ideal for what I'm hoping to put together. And like I said, I'm not a DP, but I've got a couple people that I'm working with and talking to. So we'll feel comfortable that could be a good fit in executing something that's, something that might play at a couple of festivals. We'll see.
Cool. No, that's exciting. I definitely encourage anybody who's willing to, cut their teeth in filmmaking, do it. I mean, it's such a unique, experience. But man, so it sounds like you've got your fingers in a lot of wonderful pies. Hopefully they're all flavorful.
Right.
But with Telluride, what an interesting backdrop. How does the town really take to hosting the horror show?
Well, as you know, Telluride is actually the town. I forget the exact phrase or label, but it's a town of festivals. There seems to be something going on about every weekend, from Mountain Film, which is Memorial Day weekend, through our festival, which is the last real festival of the year. But I mean, with Telluride Bluegrass and Blues and Brews and Telluride Film Festival, whatever, we were like this small, when we came on the scene, and this is before my time. This is when Ted had a vision, and in those first few years, and even since my time, I've seen us grow to the point where like restaurants are staffing up. People are starting to like understand, like, hey, that's a nice pop in October that we didn't have before. So it's been a nice. I think the town has welcomed us definitely, and they see that we are serious about our programming and being a world premiere film festival, so they're excited to support. I think Telluride has done a great job. It's taken a few years, but we're starting to notice there. I mean, we're talking about a little town, but we're talking about festivals like Telluride Bluegrass, which brings in, well over 10,000 people. And, Telluride Film Festival being one of the world premiere film events, for actual, Oscar content film. So to get noticed and people calling, locals now saying, well, that's our favorite festival. That's kind of a good feeling, we know that we aren't quite as big as these other festivals, but we're definitely, as far as like genre fest go, we're one of the largest in North America. So
yeah, and I mean, with the Telluride Film Festival being so prestigious, them having all these events, and so how big is Telluride, the city?
I think there are permanent locals. I think there are only a couple thousand people, and then of course there's Mountain Village, which is a gondola ride away. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that probably have second homes there. It's a ski community, world class one at that. But I think as far as people that are living there full time, it's a couple thousand. So,
wow,
that's a great job of and I think we have, as the horror show, we have actually kind of benefited from like Telluride Film Festival, because these theaters, we operate out of 3 theaters. They're up to like, I think 10 or 12, but like some of the projection has to be state of the art for these Oscar, contending type film premieres. And so we've been able to benefit from some of these theaters, of course, in October, by Ted also working with the Telluride Film Festival, Mountain Film. He's been plugged in with Telluride Blues and Brews. So he's had he's worked in every single, it feels like, capacity in every music and film festival in Telluride, where he's really become sort of this well-oiled machine. He's a great guy to work for. So yeah.
Nice. That's pretty awesome. So it's it sounds like you guys have been working pretty well, together for quite some time. I remember seeing a lot of the advertisements, and they remind me of I think the early EC comics. Yeah. Like Yore and all that. Something very akin to Creep Show or Tales from the Crypt.
Right. Yeah, we've been working with the same artist since day one, Ted.
Cool.
It's been such a pleasure to walk into an organization that has their branding in place like this. Same artist, Mark Zingarelli. He's out of Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice.
Like House of Zing, I think, is his Facebook page. But he's been with us for day one. So it's really fun to look at like the different poster art over the years. And there's always like kind of a way that our festival is poking fun at something in Telluride, maybe a landmark, maybe another. Like my favorite is the Godzilla breathing fire down on the Telluride Bluegrass Festival, and there's always like bluegrass musicians running away with their ukuleles. And
does Godzilla have something against bluegrass?
Well, honestly, I think my understanding, this was a couple years before I jumped on board with them, is that those posters were hung that weekend. And there were a couple people that had a problem with it. We're like, you got to have humor. We're the horror community. So no, but Ted has done an excellent job. He has a lot of input on what goes into the horror art. This year, it's more of a War of the Worlds, shelter in place, and kind of like sort of poking fun at, just kind of like what's going on in our climate right now. So
right, very much so. It's. Well, famously, those aliens died of the common cold. Of course, I guess I never really understood. Didn't the Stephen King version, didn't they live underground or something, and then they came up, and then they died of the common cold?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I need to revisit that.
Yeah, I think I watched it once, and it's it's neat, but I do appreciate the original one. Much better.
Yeah. And how is your festival holding up? I mean, I knew this is your first year, and so this
is how we're spending our first year. Right. Talking to you guys online. No, it's it is what it is. We've had to postpone the physical event till next year, so My partners, Dwight and Lisa and Brett and Jeannie, they're working on that. But I've just been ramping up the online content and trying to take, as much of our programming ideas and see if we can apply it to online. And it's been really fun. We've been able to work with a lot of people. I've talking to you, talking to My Horror Film Fest, and Teresa with Scream Screen, and a number of other people, even like Sumner Twins Talent, one of my sponsors. They produce horror movies, so that's been fun working with all these great people that for me, I normally wouldn't have access to.
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits. I mean, there's something to be said about that, and I feel like even our list of guest authors, we have a really strong guest author. We do what's called creepy campfire tales. So like sit down and read excerpts by their book or by the campfire with their, some of their books.
Yeah.
And people really love that as a kickoff on Friday night. And, we've had some great authors like Joe Lansdale, Paul Tremblay, and a few others. But this year it's just sort of stacked. And I think it's because, some of them are willing to like set up a laptop like you and me.
Yep.
You talk about their work and their contributions to the genre. And I think that I love what Ted's been doing with the horror show, in that he's been kind of melding the two, like genre fiction, these novels. We're bringing out all these writers. Some of them have works that are adapted to film. And so I think attendees that come out are starting to kind of pick up on that and appreciate that. They're actually reading a lot of the work that, Ted and the horror show has exposed them to. So, yeah,
that's fantastic. Yeah. On our end, we've been able to work with the Denver Horror Collective and Hex Publishers, and read excerpts out of their new horror books that they've been putting out. So yeah, I totally get what you're doing. It's absolutely amazing. Especially during doing what you do in such a tight like programming block of time, even online.
Yeah.
Just with everybody that's watching and listening, right now, where can they go to watch all the horror show programming?
Yeah, right now, I'll give you our festival platform site, which is a little different than the website. We're using the Eventive platform. I believe that's what Mile High Horror is using, and Denver Film. That's what we're using at Aspen Film. But it's pretty user friendly and clean. And we're at Telluride Horror Show 2020. .eventive.org. So again, Telluride Horror Show 2020.eventive.org.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. Make sure everybody out there to go there. Is that link also at the regular website too?
Yes, it should be. I believe there's a link that says Telluride Horror Show goes online, and I think it takes you to the platform. So if you go to TellurideHorrorShow.com, you'll find this as well. So
cool. Let me throw up a banner on that Telluride Horror Show. Got to check my spelling.
Yeah.
And all right. So that should be going now. There it goes.
There you go. That's our website. Definitely. You'll be able to find the link to the online platform this year.
Cool.
Again, we're calling it the Shelter in Place edition. So
nice. Yeah, which clearly you're doing. I love your Halloween decorations just over your shoulder there.
Yeah, there's Jenny in the photo.
Oh, there she is.
I thought she'd be. I need to get her on her booster seat or something, but yeah,
she keeps her company.
I have a roommate. We live in this huge place up here in Georgetown, but I watch all the horror movies. She watches a few. She goes to every single haunted house. I think she went to like 20 some in 30 days last year, and and her thing is cemeteries too. And I can't take credit for all this decor. She just decked out our house. So yeah, I'm very lucky that we are like-minded and both clean and introverted but engaging,
Yeah. It's definitely a great time to be an introvert,
Right.
it's like, hey, okay, well, it's just another day. It must be Tuesday. All right, and stuff gets done. So yeah, well, that's cool. With the the programming and everything like this year, what other unique events do you have being adapted for online?
Um, well, as far as the
Like
Telluride
Q,
goes,
yeah, any like you got Q&As or?
yeah, we'll definitely have some Q&As. As a matter of fact, there is still few hours left, I think, until 11:49 tonight to watch an advanced screening of the new film 12-Hour Shift.
Oh, cool.
David Arquette,
Yeah,
you probably remember him from a little franchise called Scream. And
just a
Anna
tiny one.
Bettis, who was, a lot of horror fans love her from May. She was also in Girl Interrupted. And it's Brea Grant wrote it and directed, but it's just sort of a wacky, dark horror comedy.
Nice.
So we have a Q&A with Brea Grant, and then we'll have conversations with all of these authors. They're going to be doing a version of Creepy Campfire Tales. So we're encouraging our fans to light candles, get your fire going, take it outside, whatever. Just don't set the forest on fire. And,
Right. Please do not do.
right. We've got I can't say yet. We should be announcing our second wave and complete program sometime next week. And we have a couple other fun video things in the works that I can't really talk about just yet. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, I can't wait to see those announcements.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this event's pretty ongoing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we just there was we had a talk, we had a Zoom call with the programmers and myself and Ted. Mm-hmm. I think I got an ash in my back of my throat.
And, oh no, yeah, stay hydrated. I know that stuff tends to dry you out.
And a couple others early on were like, do we want to just, because we understand, we're very upfront that, hey, this is not the same as like waking up in the mountains, but
right.
That we just felt like, hey, we've got an audience and our viewers are loyal and they're very supportive, and they were kind of asking for it. And so we decided to push forward in the spring, and we're like, okay, we're going to do a virtual fest. I think there was a little time where we were kind of kicking around a hybrid festival and can we do it? And maybe there's a drive-in. But there's always costs involved. And in this year, we just want to get our films and conversations and authors in front of people. So definitely excited. I mean, even considering this format, we're very excited to be showcasing a lot of these great films, world premieres, North American and US premieres, and a lot of smart people in the genre. So yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Is there any film that you guys are programming that you really are anxious to see?
Yeah, there are a couple. There are a few that I really like. Butchers is a Canadian film, and that will be for straight up Texas Chainsaw slasher type film. Nice. There's a really
very family oriented.
Yeah, a really smart dark comedy out of the Netherlands called The Columnist. Deals with social media and kind of like a little bit of a revenge story. I think that people will enjoy. We have a horror anthology from France called Dark Stories, and that will be making a North American premiere. And for Evil Dead fans, we've got a documentary called Hail to the Deadites. I know it's already played at a couple of but it's a favorite, and that was kind of a fun one to watch. I'm not I would consider myself a Deadite, but I can appreciate the franchise, and I really enjoyed watching that one. So yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I've seen the trailer to to the Deadites documentary, so that looks like fun. That'll definitely be right up my alley
that'll have an audience for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I remember that there was a time too where horror just wasn't a genre in France that was very well known. Like there wasn't a lot of filmmakers from France that were producing horror. So it's I started noticing it in the last 20 years that that's no longer the case. I mean, it is just huge there.
Yeah, they definitely have. I'm looking up here just to make sure I don't misquote. That was Raw from France. Why am I drawing a blank now? I feel like that was a French film, the Raw.
Oh yeah, Raw. Yeah, I did see a part of that. That was one that I had to, start and then walk away and then come back. It's great, but it's for me, I think it was a bit of a slow burn, and I really digest the subtitling.
Yeah, we did a secret screening of that, and it was well received. You might want to fact check me on the country, though.
What's that?
I said you might want to fact check me on the country of that one, but I think it's
okay. Well, I remember. Let's see here. Shoot. I too am drawing a blank on some of these films. I will be looking up on IMDb.
Tool.
It was the gentleman who directed the alligator movie with Crawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, his first film was a horror film straight out of France, I believe, and I think that Alexander Aja or Aja. I like Aja better. I mean Aja. Oh yeah, High Tension. Yeah, that was.
I forget that same director.
Yeah, that was a pretty intense movie. It's got that twist at the end, but everything up until that point is just so intense, and kind of white knuckling too. Right. So that stuff is always fun, but Butcher sounds pretty interesting because Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of my top favorite films of all time. I can still watch it, and it disturbs me to the core.
It's so timeless. Like I can't believe that film. I watch it at least once a year now, and for the budget, I can't believe what they were able to put together, and it's so disturbing every time. I remember Teresa Mercado putting on a screening of that. It was called Crash. See, I'm having one of those moments again.
That's 45. That's okay. It's all the isolation in Georgetown.
Exactly. I haven't spoken to anybody in months.
I know. It's like, what? Are your people still out there?
Yeah. But just, I remember and just like, wow, I hadn't seen it in a few years. And from then on, I'm like, this is probably it's definitely my top 5 of all time.
Cool. Yeah.
It's right up there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a film that I'm always fascinated by. The fact that it's kind of approached as like documentary style in a sense. There's way more subtext going on with it, but I'm just not sophisticated enough to talk about it in that sense. But the fact that there's no gore, there's suggestions of some nefarious things happening in there, and it's so visceral that it really kind of keeps you in a state of shock and despair throughout the whole thing.
Oh my gosh, like one of the first people to go down when he gets clubbed over the head and he's shaking on the floor. That's so realistic. It's just disturbing to watch every time. You just see his legs, and like you said, not a lot of blood or anything. Just
well, and that's the thing. Like, there's practically no blood.
Right.
You don't see people. You might see like somebody getting stuck on the hook, but the hook is completely off camera. And so when you start seeing like some of the remakes that come out, and they just go, glory hallelujah with the blood and the gore. It's just like, oh man, you guys are kind of. I wonder what they could do if they didn't have that, with today. But
I think with like suggested. I think a more recent movie that I think is brilliant in that way is Sinister. because
Oh, I haven't seen that with Ethan Hawke, right?
Ethan Hawke, and you see what's going down, but you don't often, or you see the aftermath, but you don't really see like the actual graphic violence. You kind of know what's going to happen. They do the setup and kind of what happens. But yeah, that movie to me, I watched it again a week ago, and it's probably one of my, for me, it gets me. Another one for me that gets me would be oh, good Lord. Now I'm drawing a blank again. The Descent. The Descent. Yeah. My claustrophobia. I just, my skin crawls when I watch that movie. But yeah. So yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Which movie was it?
The Descent. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The monsters. It's just like being stuck in a small space. Yeah.
Yeah, that scene where they're descending, and I think the camera kind of follows them too. The funny thing is like when they run into the underground dwellers living there, I was so relieved. I was like, oh well, at least they're not in the tight little area there. It's like,
I stand a chance.
I kind of have a similar reaction. Like, I don't know if you've been watching like Lovecraft, Country on HBO.
I haven't. I've been hearing great things though.
I absolutely love it. It's fantastically put together, and it's the cast is, oh man, just amazing performers. But that first episode, you've got these black travelers going into what looks like the Deep South, putting together the Green Book, and they're coming into like sundown counties and towns, and that was something that was very shocking to me because I didn't know that existed until this show. And then they come across all these racist cops and just terrible, horrible things. I'm like, oh fuck! And then when the Lovecraftian monsters show up, I'm like, oh, finally. It's like, that's the sigh of relief. I think it's the real horror that people have actually had to suffer through that is just the most intense thing that I would never want anybody to ever have to experience. And it's so visceral, and you can't, you really can't help but feel empathy for that situation. So so when the monsters show up, apparently that's, oh, thank God, everything's bubbly, it's a CG monster, and we're fine.
Right.
Oh geez,
I was not seeing that coming. I knew nothing about that film, and I watched it years after it came out. I'm like, what the
right. Yeah, that's it's a great film. I think that director did the most recent Hellboy remake too. So what was his name? Neil Jordan or something like that? I might be getting that wrong. But yeah, there's it's got to be a pretty fun to be able to put together a film festival too, and you as a fan of films, being able to participate, with Ted and the rest of the crew in curating, all these things that you love, but you're also doing participating in the Aspen Film Fest, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're excited about the program this year. It's going to be a hybrid model. We have with Aspen Film Fest, these films with names like Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep. These are bigger features that are going to be probably in a normal year would be hitting the theater soon, but it gives Aspen, the community, and the Roaring Fork Valley a great chance to check out these films on the big screen. But this year we're doing an opening night. One of the films is Nomadland with Frances McDormand. And we'll have a double feature that night, and then we have a drive-in with the new David Byrne, American Utopia, the new documentary from Spike Lee and David Byrne. So we'll be showing that
Oh,
live, and HBO is really excited to partner with us on that. But they're like, can we
cool.
somehow do it on a big screen? And they were really open to that. So we're excited about that. And then there's a closing night. These are limited, very limited seating,
Yeah.
mass, social distance at one theater on opening and closing night, not a big hurrah. And then uh, well over the majority of our programming is virtual, but like a lot of great titles, a lot of big names. The new A24 film Minara is a Korean family that I think they try to start a farm and kind of their a new way of life in Arkansas.
Oh,
And
wow.
they're already talking Oscar buzz for that film.
Oh,
So I think after Parasite last year, I think people are really anxious to see more Korean film. I mean, so
yeah.
we're
Yeah.
excited for that. That'll be a virtual screening, and there's a bunch of other great films. Comeback Trail is like stacked with Robert De Niro, Zach Braff, Tommy Lee Jones, Morgan Freeman. I mean, it's a fun
Wow.
lineup. It's just a really fun festival. Our Shorts Fest is in the spring, and that's the Oscar um, qualifying short film festival, and that's a really big deal in the spring. But this one's just kind of like a fun, straight up. Here's some bunch of features that you can watch on the big screen in a normal year, and we're kind of doing that with the hybrid model. And I'm really proud of what Susan Rubel is doing over there as the executive director. It's a small staff, but they put on a big production. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That that's absolutely wonderful. Are you, by chance, are you able to like, bring your, horror show curation to Aspen? Is there any crossover?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that the demographic is the same.
Okay.
And but we would like to maybe bring some programming to other communities down the road. We talked about
Oh,
doing that a few years ago, but there's a lot of work involved. But it'd be nice to maybe do a shorts block or some sort of a present a advanced screening in another community and sort of help promote that. I don't know that we have a physical festival in another community in mind at this time. I think we're just trying to get through this year, and hopefully
yeah.
do another great Telluride in-person festival in the next year or two. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds, absolutely wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah. Again, thanks again for, keeping everybody, engaged online during all this stuff.
Yeah.
The I keep thinking too, like with how you described Telluride, I was like, oh, what a great setting for your own horror movie.
Oh yeah. 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 I mean, there is some great locations out there. It's just, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they shot The Hateful Eight. Of course, most of it was in the cabin, but
Right.
but
Right.
also, if you saw the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, I think 2 or 3 of the shorts are from the Telluride area. And there's a
Oh.
good friend of ours, actually, of the festival, Tim Torito.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he helps with the Sheridan Opera House during the horror show. He's a great friend of Ted and Anna, and he's a locations manager there. And so he helped bring Tarantino's production to Telluride as well as the Coen brothers. So yeah, it's so scenic. I mean, it's just
Nice.
kind of a given if you're allowed permission to shoot there, do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds awesome. You think like as scenic and as many terrains as Colorado has, you think that a lot more people outside of the state would try to take advantage of that. I know, well, between you and I, we know so many filmmakers that already know this secret and use it to the best of their abilities.
Yeah, I'm not an authority or anybody really to speak on the topic, but I know a lot of it comes down to, film incentives,
Yeah.
which we are just very, lacking in
Right.
our state. You see what they're doing in New Mexico, Louisiana, Georgia, and it's just
Right.
like, kind of mind blowing. But you're right. I mean, we've got the eastern part of the state could easily be filmed in a way that you're in Kansas or
Mhm.
parts of other parts of the Midwest, and then of course we've got the Rocky Mountains, and they're
Yeah.
not all the same. I mean, the San Juan Mountains down in Durango and Telluride are completely different than what I'm living up here. Both beautiful, but
Mhm.
unique. And
Yeah.
then of course we've got red rocks, so you can kind of like, film those canyon desert scenes. And yeah, the landscape of the state is so immense, like diverse, that yeah, on paper, I mean, if money wasn't the issue, it's a no-brainer to film here for sure. And I think a
Right.
lot of locals enjoy doing it. Even our small projects, like I love filming here in Colorado.
Yeah.
And these are more, on a smaller scale, of course, but I think there are people that are still doing some really creative things in our Colorado film community.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's I think that's starting to become like a creative field that's really starting to coalesce. I probably more so probably now, I
Yeah.
would say, because people are able to take the time
Yeah.
and reach out and really do some planning. But yeah, it's really great to see that, and it's always interesting too. Like during this time, listening to and hearing how the processes of filmmaking
Hmm.
have to be because of COVID,
Right.
and whether that means the whole crew in a small setting have to be head to toe covered,
Mhm.
while the whoever's in front of the camera,
Yeah.
they're mask off, doing their thing in between takes, mask on, doing all the sanitation. It's just an interesting way,
Yeah.
but it's something to be I think just to be aware of and courteous.
Yeah. I think with even my little film, I mean, in theory, I could probably shoot those there's pretty much three scenes, and the first two scenes is one person, and so I could probably do that with a DP and myself in the room. We're
Nice.
masks, and the actor is not, obviously, um,
Nice.
and then hold off and film the scene, the little crowd scene, and that
Yeah.
will have to come next year, but we'd have those other two out of the way. And there's I think people are getting creative and working with what they have. I think I'm getting way too close to festivals to be thinking about film production, but so I'm probably going to hold off till next year anyway. But yeah, there are creative ways we've seen, like, little shorts that are one person, like they can, and it's all about the story,
Right.
Right. Great indie films that didn't have a budget, but they had a story, and it was, the actors were good enough to execute the dialogue. So
That's
you just never know in indie film. So
right. Right. But or you could just do a pandemic film, and then all your actors have to wear masks anyway. So
there you go. Present day, George, Colorado. Yeah.
oh man, that's great. The and it's October. It's the first of October, right?
It is
Uh,
hard to believe.
I know, right? To me, it still feels like March. Even though it's been like a 30-year.
Yeah.
But any plans for the Halloween season? Anything that you're looking forward to? Obviously, Telluride
Yeah.
horror show.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the big thing, right?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty excited about both of these festivals. I've been trying to get out and see some fall color, and just so you know, folks, we're over the peak. So if you want to see any color up at Guanella Pass, you better hurry up. I think Kenosha is pretty bare already, but
Mm.
yeah. So this is my time to enjoy the rest of the warm weather before the snow flies, and then I'm just really going to be buckled down with these two festivals.
Yeah.
I'll probably just take a breather after both of the festivals and just enjoy a bunch of other horror movies. And
Cool.
but yeah, no special plans this year. I think I'm just sort of going to take it easy,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I think it's just kind of a weird year, so we'll see. How about you? You got any Halloween plans?
I was gonna. Well, I think horror movies
Yeah,
online clearly.
sure.
I know. Oh, Teresa's tomorrow night is she's doing a screening of Candyman at the Red Rocks Drive-In. So I wish I could go to that. I don't think we're going to be able to, but yeah, I think we'll probably have to tune in to Telluride Horror Show online and just soak up what's playing on there. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have some more great films and guests to announce here in the next week or so.
Oh, cool.
So we're excited about that. So stay tuned on our social media and website. We'll be able to keep you posted with what we've got. We're pretty excited to round out the lineup. So
that sounds wonderful. Yeah. Well, when you make announcements, make sure that you send something my way so we can repost on our social media too. And
sounds great.
And really make everybody unite.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's man, it's so fun. So our time's winding down, but for everybody out there, make sure you go to TellurideHorrorShow.com. Follow the links to all the fun events and all the online programming that you guys have curated and been able to bring to all us fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're really excited. This is a great lineup. We were not expecting to have a features lineup like this year. Our short films are as strong as ever. But yeah, even a few months ago, we're like, we could maybe we're going to show one marquee feature a day. We didn't know what was going on out there. Then all of a sudden, these submissions started coming in. We started taking a look. Ted was, obviously in touch with distributors, and we've been able to put together 11 films in the first wave. So much better than 2 or 3. So hats off to our programming team. They've done just a tremendous job during all of this. And I'm sure like presenting films on in a virtual format is, not what they have in mind, but they've been just like doing a great job for us. So, yeah. Cool.
Well, my hat's off to you guys. These type of events are, so, kudos. You guys are knocking it out of the park. And I can't wait to participate in some of the programming.
All right. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. We appreciate it as the festival. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on and talking to me, and to everybody out there in Facebook and YouTube land. Thanks for tuning in. Special thanks to Sumner Twins. My producers, Stefan Santa Cruz, Amanda Armstrong, wherever you guys are, hope you're safe. And then, thanks again, Travis, and to your cohorts at the Telluride Horror Show.
Thanks, Daniel. Take care. Have a great evening.
Thanks. Yeah, go ahead and stick around for a minute, and we'll end the broadcast here.